What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B-Hop Radio. Shout in as always. I got my podcast partner off in this thing. OG Gangsta Wicked, a.k.a. Big Galaxy of Ghetto Mafia.
Yes, sir. It's early, but I'm here.
I mean, I see you in your full So Def apparel today, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to appeal to JD. You know what I'm saying? He got a new album getting ready to come out.
Okay.
And we had him on the show.
That's right.
So I always like to show my support for the, you know what I'm saying, for the legends of the city.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know what I mean? So, I'm definitely So Def for life, man.
Well, I mean, you know what's going down. I heard that it's the Magic City documentary and soundtrack that he's putting together. And that's going to be another major look for the city right there. Just, exploring Atlanta's culture and letting people know where a lot of this sauce came from, man. So I'm excited to see what's going on with that. But in trending news right now, people are starting to say that this whole Diddy and Cassie case is driving a wedge in between men and women. I mean, it's turning into a battle of the sexes case now. Because some folks are saying, the women are saying that, Cassie was a victim 100%. And some people are saying that, the men are saying that they believe, some of them believe that Cassie was a willing participant in what was going on.
Absolutely.
And then you got, men and women on either side of the fence at the same time going against each other. So,
correct.
What are your thoughts on what's going on now?
But when I jump into this, because this is very sensitive, and I have a lot of women in my family.
That's right.
So, so what you just said is spot on. I want to preface this by saying that it's not all men and it's not all women on either side.
That's right.
But it's a majority. We speak for the majority.
Yeah.
And you are right about that. Because I've been, I go, like I said, I'm very nosy. You see, I got a big ass nose, and I go on these sites and I go for the comments. I go for to see what each fan base is saying, each site is saying. You know what I'm saying? That caters to women or cater to men.
Yeah.
I have a mixture of the two, and I'm seeing exactly that. There's a lot of women in this country that we have to be sensitive to because they have been abused. Let's just keep it real, and not just by us black men, white men, Chinese men. Women have been objectified for hundreds of years. Prostitution is the oldest, profession in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when we are, talking about this stuff, I always have to kind of try to be sensitive and watch what I say so that my mama don't go upside my head also with a broom. Like, you know what I'm saying, boy?
I agree.
But we also are here to, we have to tell the truth that there is a culture of women out there which call themselves savages. The baddest bitches, you know what I'm saying? Boss bitch, you know, all on social media every day, twerking every single day and, getting drunk and, you hear the type of music that's out right now, what they're promoting to our young females and stuff. And when we call them out on that, we're looked at as, we hating? You know what I'm saying? And, I say that, in the Cassie and Diddy case, and I'm going to get to the men in a minute. In the Cassie and Diddy case, I hear a lot of women echoing the sentiment that, she was only 19 years old. He had the money and he had the influence and he put her on drugs and he manipulated her mind and her heart and he made her do this and he made her do that. And I always say, when people say you made somebody do something, I'm always skeptical, and I always my rebuttal is this all the time to the females that he made her do this. I always say, men always get a bad rap where they made a woman do this, made a woman do it. Everything that's bad that happened in a woman's life, we made them do it. You understand what I'm saying? All their failures, all their behavior in public, all that's because even if it had got to the point that if you catch your woman in bed now, your wife or your woman, that the courts will sit up there and be like, well, you weren't loving her right. You weren't loving her woman rights. You emotionally abused her. You worked too many hours. You didn't work enough hours. You're broke, so you can't financially take care of. Or you're too rich and you take it for granted. It's when we cheat, it's our fault. And when they cheat, it's our fault. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one thing I wanted to kind of nip in the bud. Back to what I was saying about we make them, we as men, we make women do everything. Puffy made Cassie do this, made Cassie do that. Another thing I would say is, we always can make a woman do stuff bad, but I can't seem to make a woman give me her bank account information. You understand what I'm saying? I can't seem to make her give me the deed to a house. I can make her do everything bad. Puffy can make all these women do everything bad. But I can't make you shut up when I come in and I don't feel like hearing you talking. You understand what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna get to the men next. This is me getting at my sisters. You know what I'm saying? Another thing with the sisters, that they want to say that she was 19. Okay, she didn't know what she was doing. She was very immature in the mind. Women pride themselves off saying that they mature faster than boys. We know that from when we was in elementary school.
That's right.
But at 19 years old, a young man can go and fight and die for this country. They can choose to go into the military and give their life up for this country. But the point that I'm making is, in the court of the law, 17 in a lot of places, definitely 18. You are grown. The law even says by that age, you know what you are doing.
You're gonna get charged as an adult.
Absolutely. You know what at 19 years old, you know what you're doing. Whether it's 19 that he got with her. Some people say he met her at 19, but they didn't kick it until she was 22. Whatever. 19 to 22, whatever the date, how old she was at the time. She was old enough to know right from wrong, and you're old enough. I can still remember back to when I was 19, and I'm as a boy, stay with me. I'm less mature than a woman. So at 19, I knew that if I went up and robbed a bank, or if I went in, the consequences of standing on the corner selling dope, the consequences of having unprotected sex, HIV or a baby or something. You know what I'm saying? Mama used to always say from time I had pubes, you bring a baby up in here, nigga, you dropping out of school and going to get you a job, because I already raised you and your brothers and stuff. I'm not taking care of your grandkids right now. I'm trying to live my life.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? So I knew consequences of stuff way before 19, and women are more mature than us. You know what I'm saying? I know at 19, Cassie had to know whether she wanted to have 5 woods in her mouth. You understand? Or somebody pissing down her mouth, or this or that. These are things that she could have said, no to, or no, that just ain't I wasn't raised like that. I don't get down like that. That's one thing. Now, to Puffy and his shit. And this is for my women. It's time to get on him and tell him about himself. I think that he's a coward. I think that, one thing about me, B-How, that I've always prided myself on, I might not have been the best boyfriend to a female, or, gave him the best advice when I was real young. I pride myself on giving great advice now. But one thing I never did was, and this is to men or women, I've never been the guy to turn a person out. Some people get infatuated with that. So meaning, you know what I'm saying? I pride myself off not putting, we call it in the hood, put it in a person's life. You know what I'm saying? Turn them out. I don't want to be the first one. There's been females that when I was a little younger, they'd be like, well, I'm celibate. I'm not having sex right now. I'm not a virgin, but I'm celibate. I've been celibate for 3 years. Well, I know I'm not gonna be with you, so I'm not even finna play games with you and try to, that's an infatuation with me. Let me go up in here bullshitting around, break that to see if I can, if I can score that for a notch under my belt, and then leave you, worse off than when I met you. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like Puffy dropped the ball with Cassie. She was young and impressionable. You're older than her. This is, you know, a lot of the stuff you taking her to these parties. You putting your drugs in her life. You know, and I'm not saying maybe she was already doing drugs, but still.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If you care anything about her at all, these are things you would have said, you know what, baby? You know, no, I'm not going, because he, you know, a lot of people are saying that they were together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This wasn't just a prostitute that he ordered offline, that she knew she was grown up. She's already a prostitute at a dating service or whatever. She's coming over for that. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? She's mature. I can have, this is what I do. Mm-hmm. Pay for play. You understand what I'm saying? This is a woman that you were saying was possibly could have been your lady. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Kim was possibly could have been your lady. You don't have that. What happened to the men that, you know, we separate that from
our main lady.
From our main lady. Even if we out here doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? Nah, baby, you can't go with me to this. Yeah. Nah, baby, we ain't doing this right. Nah. I'm gonna shelter you away from this.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? I was always type of guy, if I'm out here, you know, if I'm out here and I'm selling drugs at a young age, I don't have my main woman. I had a side chick for that, a dope girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, goddamn, get in the car. Leave the kids in here. You know, put this down in your drawer.
Yeah.
You know, so now we both get banged. The kids ain't got a mama or no daddy. You know, what happened to men like that? Nah, baby, you're not gonna get into this street stuff. You do that. That's why I, you know, got with you in the first place, because you, what it's called is my better half.
Yeah.
I felt like you were my better half, that you could pull me, you know what I'm saying, from my demons and help me, you know what I'm saying? I was, you know, absolutely. My creator gave me the sight to see, you know what I'm saying, godliness in you. You know, you see what I mean? So that's what, you know, Puffy failed her at. You know, I think that he misled not just Cassie, probably a lot of women, but a lot of people in the industry also. It goes back to how you and I have been talking to, you know, another black entrepreneur falling, another leader in the community falling. Of course, he ain't a leader right now for how they have him looking, but you know what I'm saying, he was at one point until a lot of all this stuff has come out against him. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we already see what we went through with Bill Cosby, with R. Kelly. They trying to get Smokey Robinson. It just adds and adds on. What are our black leaders in the entertainment industry and in sports? What are they thinking about? You know, what? That's my question that I have for you. What is the mindset of these niggas?
Well, I could tell you one that has a great mindset, and that's Jermaine Dupri. His mindset is putting Atlanta back on the map.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
He's going and galvanizing all of the OGs in the city and putting them on a record. He's doing documentaries. He's doing meet and greets with the DJs and talking to them and letting them know that they are still important in the music industry in Atlanta. And I mean, he's definitely moving the culture forward. So I mean, we do got one person that's still, you know, doing what they supposed to do out here in the game.
And they hated on Jermaine. You know, that's another subject, but he should have been, you know, at the forefront of a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes with the industry where Jermaine wouldn't play ball. And he kind of got shunned from a lot of it, but we'll talk about that at another time.
Exactly. But I mean, that's what happens when you stand up for a city and a region and for hip hop and R&B. You know, the first person through the door take all the flack. So, you know, I'm definitely understanding that. But back to the Diddy and Cassie situation, what's getting me with what my standpoint kind of is right now, the perspective that I kind of want to talk about is the financial perspective of it all. Okay. You know, the money affected Diddy and it affected Cassie as well. With Diddy having access to so much money and power, I mean, you know, absolute power absolutely corrupts people. So with that being said, Diddy was probably just doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. And by the time you done had hundreds of millions of dollars for 20 years, 30 years, you don't, I mean, your sense of reality just ain't the same no more.
Correct.
Young Cassie comes in there and she's getting slapped with $500,000 at a time.
Correct.
Okay, so I don't know what kind of background she came from, but if you come from a background where you're not getting hit upside the head with $500,000 every 5 minutes, then you pretty much are in a whole new league that you ain't even been prepared for, because you don't even understand what comes along with the $500,000 coming out of nowhere all the time.
Correct.
So I think that, both of them were prisoners to the money. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Diddy was a prisoner to the money, using it to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And she was a prisoner to the money because she was like, you know what, I'm going to get this money.
Absolutely. And I'll sell my soul and my morals to be able to get this money and live this lifestyle. That's where it comes in, where I say a lot of our women are trying to pass the buck on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't put a gun to your head and say, you got to be here every day. No, she was after, they say money is the root to all evils.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened here,
Yeah.
what you said. It made Puff act, it makes him act a certain kind of way, and it makes people that are chasing that, it changes them also. That they'll do anything for the money and the lifestyle. And that's a choice.
Also, my question would be, where are the women that stood up and said, nah, bruh, we ain't doing this.
Correct.
And walked out that party.
And walked out. Right.
Somebody walked out of there. I don't believe everybody just stayed in there and went along with it. There were some people that had their own minds.
Right.
That went in there and said, hey, man, this is getting a little bit too freaky.
Right.
I'm about to get up out of here, man. Y'all can have this. This is too damn much.
Right. And those women there, and the women that have, and I don't even want to really say this girl name because she be all over the place, but some stuff she be saying right. Jaguar. Jaguar was the women that just take ownership. Say, you know what, I like the freak offs.
See that?
I like the drugs, and I was chasing the status quo.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? She didn't run from it.
Yeah.
And he tried to pass the buck. I was a victim of everything. Yeah, no, I was in there kicking it. You see what I'm saying? We can respect that.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Beehive, it's a divide right now with the men and the women, and I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got family members, a bunch of women, a bunch of strong women that wouldn't have been in that party, and they taught my nieces. You know what I'm saying? No, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I got guys too in the family and just in the brotherhood alone that have been railroaded because every time something went wrong, it was the man's fault.
Yeah.
And women were savages. I spoke of, you know what I'm saying? I was up front and center with a couple a celebrity couple and they wasn't doing freak offs. I want to clarify that they wasn't doing freak offs, but everybody thought that the man was the one that turned out, turned the wife out, and he was doing everything when in reality, it was the other way around. I saw it up close and personal. You understand what I'm saying? That she wasn't a victim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody thought she was. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can, whoever you speculate, that's on y'all. I saw all kind of people saying all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a divide, and at the end of the day, these are my last words about this. A lot of people on here will take other stuff from this. This is what I want y'all to take from it. I think that Puffy was bisexual, drug addict, that was addicted to the money and the fame. And I think that Cassie was bisexual, drug addict, that was addicted to the money and the fame. And together, they were drug addicts, bisexuals, that was addicted to the fame.
Now, I see where you're going with that, Wick. I'm looking at it, and I mean, you know what it's boiling down to as well is that it was a toxic relationship.
Right.
See, that's another part that people don't want to kind of recognize is that, a toxic relationship is just toxic. They saying that Cassie whooped Diddy's ass a couple times too.
Correct. I believe that.
You see what I'm saying?
I believe that.
Like, it's just toxic. And when people get into toxic relationships, all you can really do is just kind of stand there and watch it.
Correct.
Now, some people are saying that the real victim in all of this is Cassie's husband. Yeah, that's what they're saying, that he's the real victim in all of it.
I believe he was the one that besides women, because, other women will, they get into a girl ear, you're always the victim. There's no savages out here. Every time I turn my Instagram on, I see a motherfucker bent over, you know what I'm saying, showing, the moon, so showing the world everything. But when something like this goes down, every woman in America, she was just an innocent victim. She didn't do that. Well, there's millions and millions of innocent victims on Instagram right now. Turn your phone on and see how they're living. You understand what I'm saying? They call themselves savages for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe that he was one of the catalyst to put that victim role in her head, along with women's and certain, maybe her girlfriends and organizations, and he also said, you don't been with this man for 10 years, and however long y'all were together, and you don't did all this type of stuff, and you don't left high and dry. We got kids and stuff. Now this is what we gonna do. This is how we gonna get to the money. He can't get out the door like that. I know a man's perspective. I know a man's perspective. It's 9 out of 10 men that are listening to me right now. I'm not gonna say that you would be with Cassie, but if you found yourself in a position with Cassie, 9 out of 10 men listen to me right now with a sick tub back on puff. Say, no, he can't get out the door like that, baby. Am I saying, am I tripping?
Nah, you ain't tripping.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't think you're tripping.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 niggas right now, if they found themselves with Cassie, I'll give, the benefit of the doubt. There gonna be a lot of men I wouldn't be with after all that. Okay, I'm not talking to you. You move out the way.
See, that's the other part too. That you got to clarify that as well.
Correct.
Because some folks ain't even. They like, nah,
right.
I ain't going out there.
So I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to ones that would find themselves in the position that they have taken her after she's been damaged like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a motive.
You're gonna want some reparations.
Exactly.
You're gonna want some reparations.
Exactly. Baby, you are the victim. That nigga did us wrong. You're gonna start saying us. It ain't even her no more. Baby, he did us wrong. He fucked us over. We gotta do something. We gotta do something. And so if you think that man ain't sat there and did that right there, and he was very instrumental in orchestrating this whole thing against Puff and having her come out, then I got some land to sell you in Decatur, a mansion.
Well, with that being said, y'all hit the comments, fam. Let us know how you feel about it. Do you agree, disagree? What do you think is really going on in this situation? Is the money the root of everything? The people the root of everything? And are the men and women in the community being divided by this trial right here?
That's right.
You want these folks to know, Big Galaxy?
Jermaine, let's go, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm so deaf for life, man. Waiting on that call, baby. I'm waiting on that call.
Y'all heard the man. Get down with the movement. Be Hot Radio shouted. Big Galaxy. We gone.